Illness has always been a part of human experience, affecting us across time. But some of history's most severe outbreaks have left their mark on humanity long after the first signs appeared. Today we're diving into how long some of the biggest disease outbreaks have lasted. Before we start, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on other grim eras of history you'd like us to cover next. Let's start. Back in 430 BC, Athens faced a tough year. Just 2 years into the Peloponnesian War with Sparta, Athens found itself in the grip of a plague. Starting in Ethiopia, this deadly illness spread through Egypt and Libya, eventually reaching Athens. Healthy people soon became feverish, with inflamed eyes and bloody throats. Symptoms worsened with sneezing, chest pain, spasms, and severe stomach distress. Historians still debate the cause of this plague of Athens, but it's suspected to have been a combination of diseases like measles, smallpox, and typhus. With most countryside residents confined within city walls for safety, the disease spread quickly, claiming about 100,000 lives by the end of the initial outbreak, with a resurgence 3 years later. To Athenians, it felt like divine punishment. Then came the Black Death, one of the deadliest pandemics in human history. Named for the dark boils, or buboes, that appeared on the infected, the disease came to Europe in 1347 via flea-infested rats on Italian trade ships. From there, it spread rapidly across Europe and North Africa, and by 1350 reached England, France, Scotland, Scandinavia, Germany, and Russia. Although the initial wave ended in 1353, the political and economic impact lingered. Desperate doctors tried everything from bloodletting to herbal remedies. After 7 brutal years, an estimated 50 million lives were lost across Europe, China, India, and beyond. Even when the pandemic eased, bubonic plague outbreaks continued in various regions, with the last major one hitting London in 1665 to 1666. Killing up to 20% of the city's population before the Great Fire of 1666 helped end it. In 1775, America faced its challenge, the Revolutionary War and a severe smallpox outbreak. Smallpox had reached America centuries earlier through the Columbian Exchange, devastating indigenous populations. By 1777, George Washington ordered his troops to be inoculated. Despite the efforts, the epidemic spread, particularly along trade routes, and claimed an estimated 130,000 lives. The Ottoman Empire, too, was ravaged by outbreaks, with a prolonged plague from 1812 to 1819 impacting cities like Istanbul, Odessa, and Malta. By 1836, new outbreaks led to widespread quarantines and devastation, with around 300,000 lives lost. The cholera outbreaks of the 19th century were another tragedy. Starting in India, cholera spread globally, hitting Russia, Europe, and eventually the US. Through immigration and trade, major cities like New York and Philadelphia saw heavy casualties. It's estimated that cholera claimed tens of thousands of lives worldwide, even as it waned in the late 1840s. The third plague pandemic began in Yunnan, China in the 1850s, spreading to Hong Kong, India, and beyond, with British efforts to contain it largely failing. Over a century later, it has claimed millions of lives, especially in India. Then, in 1918, the Spanish flu swept across the world, even though it likely originated in Kansas. Named because Spain freely reported on the disease, this flu traveled with WWI soldiers, hitting a deadly second wave in the fall of 1918. Young adults were among the most affected, and by the end of the pandemic in early 1920, around 50 million had died globally. Fast forward to the 21st century, when SARS emerged in China's Guangdong province in 2002. This respiratory illness spread quickly to Hong Kong, Canada, and Vietnam. By mid-2003, SARS had infected around 8,000 people, resulting in 774 deaths before the WHO declared it contained in 2004. So which historical outbreak do you think was the worst? Let us know in the comments, and thanks for watching this video. Before we end the video, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye.